The break room microwave hits 0, and you keep typing for 4 more seconds before you remember it's yours. You leave your laptop open mid-sentence, walk the long way back so you don't pass the manager's office, and as you slide your chair back in, your foot catches on something stiff under the desk. Cardboard. You don't look down. You haven't looked down in over a year. You packed that box during your second week at this job. You'd found a thread online at 1 in the morning, the kind you fall into right before starting somewhere new, where someone described keeping an exit box under their desk. The idea was simple: phone charger, spare glasses, the photo of your dog, anything you couldn't stand to dig for in front of people if the call ever came. 90 seconds, dignity intact, gone. You liked it enough to do it that same afternoon. For about a week afterward, you felt unusually safe. That was 4 years ago. The box is still there. It just isn't a box for leaving anymore. Somewhere along the way, without a single decision you could point to, it became a box for staying. The first thing that went in on top of the original supplies was a second charger, 11 months in, after you realized digging out the first one meant unpacking everything else, and a new one cost $9. Then a cardigan, for the days the air conditioning ran too cold, that you meant to bring home every Friday and never did. Then a card from someone who used to sit 2 desks over, who left for a smaller company with a shorter commute, and whose handwriting you kept instead of recycling. Not from sentiment exactly, more because throwing it away felt like admitting how many more cards like it you were going to be here to receive. You might be telling yourself right now that this is just what being an adult looks like. Keeping your head down, your options quiet, your escape route theoretical instead of active, because acting on it would mean disrupting things that are, by any reasonable measure, fine. That's true for almost everyone who has ever stayed exactly where they were for exactly that reason. It explains the staying. It doesn't make the box any more ready to be opened. There was a recruiter call 18 months ago. You took it in the stairwell so no one would hear, and the role sounded close enough to what you actually wanted that you wrote the salary range on a sticky note and folded it into your wallet. You didn't follow up. The timing was wrong. A project was closing. A manager had hinted at something, and leaving in the middle felt like it would say something about you that wasn't true. The sticky note is still in your wallet. The paper has gone soft at the folds from being carried and never unfolded. 6 months after that, you almost did it for real. You drafted the resignation email in a notes app, rewritten the second paragraph 4 times so it wouldn't sound bitter, and then your manager called you in and offered you a raise before you'd said a word about leaving, because somehow, the way these things work, the company already knew. You took it. The raise didn't change how your stomach felt walking through the doors every morning. It only changed who you were allowed to blame for still walking through them. A co-worker did leave, eventually, the one whose card you kept. For 2 weeks, her desk sat empty, chair pushed in at an angle nobody else would have left it at, sticky note reminders still on her monitor for meetings that no longer existed. Then, a new hire took the desk, peeled off the sticky notes, and within a month, it was just a desk again. No different from any other desk, as if she'd evaporated rather than walked out a door that was apparently always unlocked. Your badge photo is from that second week, the same week you packed the box. 4 years of context have rearranged your face since then, fewer hours of sleep, a different haircut you grew out twice, the particular tiredness around the eyes that didn't used to be there. The badge has never been reissued. Nobody asks you to update it. The picture security glances at each morning still shows someone who hadn't yet learned what 1,400 more mornings like this one would cost. You've started saying "for now" about this job to people who ask, and you've been saying it for so long that the phrase has stopped meaning anything to anyone, including you. "For now" was supposed to describe a season. It has quietly become the only tense you speak in. You say it about the job, and then you say it about the apartment you're not sure you'll stay in either, and then you notice you've started saying it about other things too, and you stop noticing, because noticing doesn't change Tuesday. Last month, you needed a charger, the good one, from home, not the spare under your desk, and your hand brushed the box while you were reaching for the outlet behind it. You felt how light it had gotten relative to how full it looked, which should have told you something, and didn't, because you were already late for a meeting, and the thought passed through you the way most thoughts about the box did by then. Quickly, and without consequence. This week, finally, you needed something from it. Not urgently, a coworker mentioned a hard drive shortage and you remembered vaguely packing a spare one in there once, back when you still checked the box's contents the way you'd check a fire extinguisher. You pulled it out from under the desk for the first time in longer than you can place, and the bottom seam gave way before you'd even gotten it fully into the light. Not torn, dissolved. A coffee spill from some unknowable point in the last few years had soaked up through the cardboard from below, and the box had simply been sitting in it, slowly, the way things sit in things when no one is checking. The charger had corroded green at the prongs, the spare glasses had a lens missing, the frame snapped at the hinge from years of other objects being stacked on top. The photo of your dog had curled at the edges and gone the color of weak tea, and your dog, you realized, looking at it, had been dead for 2 years now, and you'd never once thought to take that picture out and look at it on purpose. At the very bottom, soaked through and unreadable, was a folded piece of paper you didn't immediately recognize until the shape of the fold reminded you the sticky note, the salary range. You'd forgotten it had ever left your wallet. You don't remember moving it here. You must have, at some point, decided without deciding that it belonged with the rest of the things you weren't using. You're holding a box that was supposed to get you out the door in 90 seconds, and everything inside it has been quietly destroyed by sitting still for exactly as long as you have. It couldn't hold a single one of its original purposes anymore. It had become extremely good, instead, at holding a cardigan you don't wear and a dead dog's photograph and the residue of every reason you told yourself it wasn't time yet. You weren't keeping an exit ready this whole time. You were furnishing a place to stay, one object at a time, and calling each object proof that you were still planning to leave.